understand and appreciate their local dialect. That's the conversation today. What are your thoughts on this? And call us on 081 0764 1679 090 241 63440. You can always tweet to us at TVC Connect. Please hashtag YourViewTVC so we can read your tweets. All right, so before we started the conversation, we reminded ourselves that even Lagos State government, for as far back as quite a number of years ago, every Thursday, I think, or Wednesdays, one day during the week, they hold plenary in Yoruba. I guess the idea was to foster the language, maybe to identify with the language. But if we look at it vis-a-vis the last elections, because that's what this is about, people are saying, is it possible that the Lagos State government is trying to impose on the language because they're trying to reiterate or reinforce the fact that Lagos State is a Yoruba state? I mean, these are the different conversations online. What are your thoughts? Let me come to Mariam. You want to start?
No, I think the Yoruba person should.
Okay.
I have my opinion.
So when the Lagos State started the issue of language being used, I think I was trying to get the date. It was 2017. The conversation was politicized at that time. And it was because some people felt that Lagos State had Igbo representatives in the House of Assembly, and that was why they decided to start speaking Yoruba once a week during plenary. That if you are a House of Assembly member in Lagos State, in a state that is a Yoruba state, then you should be able to speak the language. Some of them complained at the time. But I think that we've always spoken about identity. If you don't know yourself, one of the core part of our identity is our language. It is who we are. It helps to shape who we are. And the more we publicize our different languages, the more people have a stronger sense of identity and their attachment to the soil, to where they are from. So there's a good intention. The timing of it might seem political, but there's really no good time to do the right thing. If it's the right thing to do, let's do the right thing. So if Bauchi is talking about Hausa, as long as every other person, other smaller language within the community don't feel like they've been sidelined, then it's okay. Lagos is promoting Yoruba. The only other language that is obviously a Lagos language is Egun. Yeah. And I was happy to see that as they tweeted in Yoruba, they also tweeted in Egun. So that meant that Lagos State understood the fact that it wasn't just about the Yoruba people within Lagos. We also have the Egun people who are indigenous to Lagos. The only other other part of Lagos that I didn't mention is there's a bit of Ijebu. Ekpe speaks like Ijebu kind of Yoruba, but they can speak. They can understand Yoruba. Is Egun that is a bit different from Yoruba. So I'm 100% in support of indigenous language being tweeted. I think that people should learn. It would also encourage students to start thinking more in that line when they realize there's a commercial value in future for them knowing their language.
So first off, for me, it's a good idea. I love the idea of, yes, I do, of, encouraging our indigenous languages. There's some of our languages that are going extinct, some places. So on that level, I agree. But I'm a bit concerned for places like Plateau State with 40 or so languages. I know that the South too, they have states where in one state they have many languages as well. I know there's something about picking a language and deciding, okay, this will be the main language. It also gives the people who speak that language like a
superiority.
Like some sort of superiority over the other communities. And because the Middle Belt, Plateau State especially, we are constantly having this crisis about who really belongs where, who owns what, this sort of thing. I don't know how it will translate to places like that. But I like, yesterday we were studying French with my daughter and learning everything, and I just thought how interesting it would be that people outside Nigeria will be learning Nigerian languages and doing it in school. So I like the idea, but you know how we talk about localizing some things. Right. I see it working in the Southwest. Many people speak Yoruba, and I don't think that there's any conflict really in the Southwest about based on the language that you speak. Right. Many people are willing, and it's easy for them to just speak the Yoruba. But in other places, it's a big, it's a contentious issue. It will cause fight. So I wonder how, it's going to reflect in places like Plateau State, in South areas, and other middle belts.
Yeah, so I think it's a welcome development. I'm always a proponent of going back to the roots, going back to our local languages, and understanding where we are from, what our identity is, and language is a part of it, like Tope rightly said. However, this is just what I call trying to solve the matter from the surface, aside from the fact that people have said it's politically motivated because of the last elections and all of that. It goes beyond just speaking it at the House of Assembly. So I am somebody who understands that if you have to play active role in leadership of a particular place, you must understand the people, you must understand their language, to be a part of it, right? But I know that we, like for instance in our schools, we do not have qualified, no longer have, we used to have back in the days, but we no longer have qualified teachers in our local languages. Is a deficit that we need to start working on. So it's not just about having people at the state houses and houses of representatives and assemblies to speak the language because they're in a particular place. What are the plans to make sure that going forward we are raising children who understand their local languages? And I understand Miriam's point of contention that it may bring, especially in some locations where there are lots of languages in that area. But I know that growing up, we're told that for every, like for instance, the three major languages, when they mention it, they will say, they'll come to a geopolitical zone that has one language, and they will unanimously pick one that will be the standard, the one that you read in school and the one you write in school. I know that there are different Igbo languages, but there's one particular one that we read and write. That's the standard one. So I think the conversation will be coming together as a community. Which of this one are we picking to represent this language? That may be something that Nigerians, everybody's language cannot be picked, because we will just be, it will be like the Tower of Babel. We'll be speaking and nobody will understand. But we must come to an agreement. And if we want to move forward, sometimes it's not about my language is more superior. It's about the greater good. Okay, can we agree that we are going to take this language on and work on it? So it's just not about the House of Assembly. They need to start telling us what they're doing to our schools, our teachers.
Yeah, so you're right. It's beyond that. But let me take Dr. Demetrius from Calabar. Thanks for calling, sir.
Hello.
Good morning. You're live.
Yeah. I'd like to make contributions on that indigenous language issue, because it's actually a different issue. First of all, I enjoy that thing that people say I'm a first-time caller. So I'm a first-time caller. Hello.
Yes, I just clapped for you.
Am I still on?
Yes, you are. We just clapped for you.
Listen to your
phone. All right. Okay. So thank you. So the indigenous language issue is a very serious problem. Like I've heard some of the contributions you have made there. Various areas, regions, local governments, in Cross River State, for instance, we have, like someone has mentioned there, we even have some communities where the men speak a different language, dialect from the females and all that. So those kinds of issues, I'm really wondering how we can handle it. And yet, it is a very serious problem to national development. I'm a Christian, please, but I also remember the issue of the Tower of Babel, when God had to turn the language of the people, and they could not understand themselves. We will continue to have these problems until we do something, especially as Africa. It is my earnest view that before now, Africa should have, the leadership of Africa should have thought of a unified language. Also, I wonder what kind of language should we choose. But there's the possibility of choosing very popular languages. We have something like Zulu, we have Hausa language, maybe we can also tinker with the Yoruba language or something like that. We can think of coming that way, and it's a possibility for us. Imagine that we learn, every individual, every little child in the primary school learns to speak one language. Imagine the kind of impact.
Oh, thank you so much, Dr. Demetrius. I mean, that's a good point he's making. We're going to go on a quick break. When we come back, we'll try to wrap up on this. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
To Lagos.
When I go there, and once I get my first salary, I'll come back and take you.
Mommy and Daddy left, now you want to go.
That's the only place that can give us the kind of money we need to get out of here.
And they call this guy, you know, they pick my call.
We assumed you were no longer interested, so we offered the job to someone else who needed it. And we gave you a chance to prove yourself.
Don't lose this one too.
The new Milo 3-in-1 Milky and Creamy is truly milky and contains calcium. No need to add milk for that rich, creamy cup, which helps to nourish and energize your kids.
I am always thinking about your well-being, so when I learned that 7 out of 10 children in Nigeria are iron deficient and this slows their growth, affects learning, and can cause anemia, I got worried.
Mom is right. 1 sachet of Cerelac Junior with Iron Plus a day provides 50% of your child's daily iron need to support proper growth and learning.
That's reassuring.
Cerelac Junior with Iron Plus. It's all good, Mom.
I need something we go ginger me. With tom I dey breathe for it now. I dey run kilometer. That's why I dey come with.
Our boss was like, a decent fashion designer only gets home at midnight.
Midway.
Man like Osime. Papa just a chop Italian league like
These are real housewives of Abuja. Those women are fire. What does OJ say again? My relationship with money is Alhamdulillah.
No one tells a story like we do. Showmax, Africa's original streaming service.
Thanks for staying with us. You know, this conversation reminds me of when I was back in school in Rutgers University, and they said we should pick an African language, and then Yoruba got the highest vote. Okay. And then they brought in a professor from Florida, then Professor, I think it's Udutola. He taught us, I thought I was going to get an A. Like, I was just taking a class, like, you know what, I got a B minus. I was like, what? You know, but, so we understand the importance of language, and we've also even said on this table, but the point BCU is making, which I think is really crucial, is that if we really want to project our indigenous language, there's a way of going about it. Equipping our teachers, educating our teachers, making sure we have more Yoruba teachers, Egu teachers teaching, or even pick one, just like the last caller said. If it's Pidgin wants to make our official language, whatever it is, let's pick it and teach it. But when you just start tweeting in a language, or start speaking it in the House of Assembly, you are sending another subliminal message. And people are thinking, because you have a community of people who are different.
It might be a way to start. You might not be able to do like this holistic change, but if people start, if a person is tweeting and somebody can start saying, I'm a Yoruba, I studied Yoruba in school and I'll be interpreting every tweet from Lagos State into English. Nice. And that's somebody is an idea. So other persons that know how to do so, it sparks a conversation. How well do you know Yoruba? It's the impact is huge, but BC said something about choosing a language. The caller to say, let's just choose one language. So our identity is linked to our language. You can't just choose a language. Europe doesn't have one language.
But Pidgin is more universal.
No. Pidgin differs from Ghana to Nigeria to Liberia. Everybody's Pidgin is different, and it's not our local language. It is our way of infusing our language and the foreign language that they used to enslave us. So what we are saying now is the language they used to dominate us. They use language to dominate. If I come into your house and I am able to make you start talking like me, then I have taken over your mind. I've taken over how you think. I can influence what you do. So that you don't look at yourself and think you're not as good as the person who you are speaking like. Why are we all in that space?
Inferior to
So it's a Igbo thing. So we must, when we talk about language, where we are going to is very deep and is a long thing. And people already feel oppressed. I know man will deal extensively with that, where you already feel like if anybody comes here, they take over. It's like when we talk about entrepreneurship and business, people are scared that when Igbos come into a business, it's like immediately there's a sweep. And why is that? They have a skill. Others have power. And they know that if this person comes to this place, they will take over. So knowing who we are and preserving the uniqueness of our culture is too important.
Okay,
and
let me take Olayemi's call. Good morning, Olayemi. Thanks for calling. You're live.
Good morning. This is
Welcome to the show.
Just to add to the topic on gun,
yes.
I believe that there should be a lingua franca in Nigeria, because we cannot be speaking the same language together, especially when it comes to assembly or any is taking place. So it's better we have a lingua franca to understand ourselves. That's the problem, the issue we are having in this country now. Because we don't understand ourselves, we believe in tribal and ethnicity issues. That's why we don't have a common. Hello, are you hearing me?
We can hear you clearly. Go ahead.
That's why we don't have a common issue to solve together. So I believe there should be a lingua franca.
Okay.
And please, sorry, I want to ask of my friend, Lima, quite a long time. You have not been seeing her.
She's on medical leave.
Thank you for sharing my view.
Thank you. All right.
Okay, thank you.
All right.
Okay.
Yeah, I was going to say that you people know me. I am all for peace and progress, you know, let's live happily ever after. And so even though I'm going to raise these issues, it's not about insisting that we're so different we cannot be united. It's that we cannot have a blanket solution for some issues. And the thing with language is, now I'm talking specifically in places like Plateau, Taraba, you know, states like that have multiple languages and have had issues about their identity. Kaduna State, thank you, about their identity. Language, as we all agree here, is you know, it's an identity issue. And for so many people, especially in Plateau State, your language, your culture, your lifestyle is so distinct from another in the same state, a few kilometers away, another community, a different language, a different belief system, a different, you know, way of life, different. And these people independently feel that they are important, their voices must be heard, their language and their lifestyle is important. And so to come to people like that and give them like a blanket language, or which, whether we like it or not, language comes with a culture. It will not work. So I know that in South Africa, they have, I think, 11 official languages. But before, you know, the Mandela became president, I think it was Dutch, English, and Afrikaans, the language that was spoken by the Dutch. It was later that the African languages were added to it. It was important. And if it wasn't so important, when they just continue with those English, Afrikaans, and whatever, it was important for the people of South Africa that their languages were made, were represented and reflected as a national language. It is not a simple matter when it comes to language to say, you know, let's just pick a language and let's just move kumbaya. No, because you're saying to me that when I speak this language, I also understand the culture that comes with it, the lifestyle that comes with it, the belief system that comes with it. I'm saying that this particular language has superiority, or is better used to express myself than this indigenous language. And I think it will be a tough one to convince people.
Okay. Let me take one. Lumide. Thanks for calling, Lumide. You're live.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I'm a first-time caller.
Welcome to the
show. Something I already said what I have in mind initially. But in addition, you know, every great nation or country of the world have their own language. The England, Russia, China. I have a partner that went to China to do a course. And he said everything that you need they have it. But you must understand their language so you can be able to use their machine.
Yeah.
So for us to be great as a nation, we need to have a language. It does not matter how many languages that we have, our official language. We must use that. I don't mind even if it's a pidgin. Because we have different pidgin in Nigeria. We have Ijebu pidgin like Pepper said earlier. We have Igbo pidgin. We have Delta pidgin, which I understand even as a Yoruba. So our language must be something that we need to use to make ourselves great. People have said it. They have used their language for us to be a slave to them, whether we like it or not. English is not our language. So we must use our language as our official language.
Okay.
We want to be among the great nations of the world. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you very much. Yeah. Let me come to you.
So, I would not say we should have just one language because we're very diverse. But we have 6 geopolitical zones, right? Is it possible that we pick one language for each zone? It's something that we have to, and this is not sentiments. This is me being objective, because before a language is picked to be a national language that represents this group of persons, it goes through tests. There's what they call language testing. They look through the intricacies of the language. Does it cover a number of alphabets? Can they use it to explain different words? We have different local languages, but not all our local languages capture everything in totality. So it will be a test that will be conducted, and then they will say for like the Igbo land, we pick this one, the Middle Belt, we pick this one, as a national language for that place, which will be presented when you're talking about Nigeria, you hear things like we have 6 official languages from each geopolitical zone. So the language itself does not mean that you cannot preserve your culture, because though I speak the regular Igbo and write the official Igbo, I speak my local dialect. I have my local cultures. I haven't lost any of it, right? But I'm able to say, okay, I can read and write in Igbo language because this is your official language. So it doesn't stop you from preserving your own culture, from preserving your own local language. It's just that this local language, we had to just choose one to be national, to represent, so that we have a sense of, and for me, I understand that we are so divided in a way that if you don't pick this, and you don't, this one suddenly starts feeling superior to others. We need to get to a point to understand that if we're going to be one Nigeria, there are some sacrifices that we may have to make. Right. So in marry your person so that 2 of you are speaking your local language in the house and you preserve it with your children. But when you're writing, you're presenting one as, from one geopolitical zone. Right. It just makes things a lot easier. And if we keep pushing this down the line, it will get to a point where we will abandon all of our local languages. They are already going extinct in most of the places.
I'll come to that in a minute.
Abandon all of them and pick pidgin. Which one will pay us better?
Let me take this call from, I believe, Olayemi, I think. Thanks for calling. Miriam from Kaduna, I do apologize. Miriam from Kaduna, thanks for calling.
Hello, good morning.
You're live. Go ahead, please.
So, my view in this point.
Hello, Miriam. Oh, we lost that call. I was having a conversation with someone recently, and she was telling me that, do you realize that in Nigeria we're semi-lingual? And the reason why we're semi-lingual, because we don't really, like most Nigerians don't really have a language anymore.
Yeah.
Because we don't even the English, we don't speak well. That's why we're discussing the results in the recent JAM results. Yeah. And she's trying to make me understand that we're having issues with serious English because our children, even ourselves, we just learned language. We are talking to everybody, just like the regular colloquial English, street English. You are speaking that, and even the local language too. You didn't learn it properly because you picked up the road. So really, the average Nigerian is just semi-lingual. We're not really grounded in one language.
You're right.
In any of the languages, and that is a problem. So if there is going to be a concerted effort to bring back that one language, maybe not one language, maybe per community, there must be a deliberate. There must be a deliberate attempt to actually bring out the religion. This is what the state government of Lagos is trying to do. Say, okay, we must project Yoruba as our identity. Now, maybe that will subconsciously tell teachers, parents, that listen, this language you must start speaking is because if you want to move anywhere within Lagos State, you need the language. Maybe to make it important.
So we're at a party on Sunday.
Yeah.
And the governor of Ogun State came into the party. And as he arrived at the party, the band started playing Isheya, Isheya, Omo Ogun, Isheya. Rayo, did not understand. Isheya is the anthem of Ogun State. That's our anthem. Okay. I know it. I connect with it. I listened to them sing the song, and it was like, you know, Omo Ogun Shole. I'm an Ogun State person. I'm not a lazy person. That's the word. The Ogun State is, he said, Isheya, that's come and walk as a child of Ogun. When I heard it, I'm still getting like shivers when I think about it. Just because the language communicates the essence of what it takes to be an indigenous of Ogun State.
Yes.
No, and everybody in the state, when you're in primary school, you sing it, secondary school, you sing it, so you know it, and it's a way of shaping people's minds and beliefs.
You know, it's only one song from Lagos I know. Only one, not the Ayo song, trust me. Okay. Only one song. It was my auntie, Mrs. Durojaye. We call her Mama Wisdom. She was that taught me. Ekolo leti yosa.
Yes.
Like, you know that means that Lagos owns the sea or the waterways. You can't take it to Abuja.
Yeah.
Like we own the seaway. Just on the side.
But you know what? You that
you have
advantage. You understand? Exactly.
With pride and
every language,
this,
every community is entitled to have that.
Of course.
And they should be able to say it, understand it, connect with it. You cannot say it in Yoruba. You can't say it in English because it's not it.
Let me take the call from Hassan. Good morning, Hassan. You're live. Thanks for calling.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
This issue of language, we just have to be very careful about it. And there's nothing wrong in you promoting your languages so that it doesn't go to streets. There's nothing wrong. But politics to eat, I disagree with politics to eat. In some states, we have many languages. How do we impose one language on the remaining one? It's like Nigeria, coming up with one language. That means you are imposing your own on the rest. There's nothing wrong with that. But let me tell you one thing. English has come to stay in Nigeria. Because we were discovered. We were discovered. And those people knew the essence of that language. For them to make sure your lingua franca is English language. Secondly, with regard to the Obiajulu and Tokwe, you see, in Delta State, there are Ika Igbo.
Yes.
And many other Igbos also.
Ika is not Igbo,
of the fringes. The Igbo of the fringes. You see, the Ika Igbo is Igbo.
It's not Igbo, sir.
You understand? Ika Igbo is Igbo. What you see is the dialect. Is the dialect that comes within one singular Igbo. And in Ijebu is Yoruba. You understand? Ijebu is the dialect. You understand? Because all the Ijebu understand the mainstream Yoruba. The same thing with the Igbo in the Delta. So this issue of trying to make sure that this one a language is the unified language is a dialect within the Yoruba. The Ika Igbo is the Delta. You understand? They are Igbo, but they're just
we have.
Can I respond? You said Bisi said something earlier. She said all languages. She was trying to talk about the composition of how languages come up. Every language has a source, like a source language. So you have Yoruba, and if you listen to most parts of Edo, you hear many Yoruba words.
Yes.
If you are even the Ika that she is saying, which is where what BC wants to talk about, if you listen to her speak that particular dialect, you will hear a bit of Igbo.
Yeah.
So if we go to the north, there is Hausa, and there are some that Hausa sourced those languages. Then we have some that there are other things that the language is different, that is not sourced by Hausa. So if we want to pick languages, we need to really research into the source of each of those languages. And you might be able to find there's a commonality to some of the Middle Belt ones, there's a commonality to some of the Igbo ones, because Igbo is very different from what they speak in Cross River.
All right.
Yes.
Totally.
I wanted to,
Oh,
we're going to break.
I know wanted to respond to the last caller.
Yes,
I also
so
have
the
something.
Ika language itself is closer to Edo than Igbo.
Okay.
Yes, it's
So is it more Yoruba then?
Yes, so I think even in the Igbo, like my own side of Igbo, we all came from, if you trace our history, the Asaba people, we are traced to the Oduduwa. So we have some similarities with Yorubas, and yet we speak a language that is close to Igbo. So I think it's just the way they did the mapping, taking different people and scattering them all over, you know, that sort of separated us. But the Ika language itself is more Edo than Igbo.
Right,
Okay, so I was going to talk about geopolitical zones because BC mentioned it often. The geopolitical zones are, as I said, geography and political. So you know that in Nigeria, even the borders of Nigeria were just carved out geopolitically. But you know, we are beyond those borders. So it's hard to say because I'm in the same geopolitical zone that was created by someone who wanted to just have maybe one to make it for easy administration, chose that, but did not really pay attention to the individual people and communities in there. So that's why it will make it hard. But I was going to say politically, where I want to agree with Hassan.
I want to talk about the political part when we come back. Stay with us, we'll be right back. Let's pause on. Stay with us.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
To give the confidence that only comes from knowing you are fully sorted. To show up for you just when you need a hand. And when retirement comes with all its worries and storms, to ensure we will stand by you and give you the coverage that you deserve. Make the perfect choice. Choose PAL Pensions today.
PAL Pensions, your pal for life.
Hello, my country people.
Catch me on
LOL.
Last on Lassie.
Ninja on Prime Video.
Let's go!
10 comedians, one task. No laughter. They go out. And 40 million naira cash. Catch me there soon. Watch out for it.
You know what, Missa?
LOL. Last one, laugh Naija. Laugh first, carry last.
Every morning is an opportunity to take your hustle to the next level. Every morning is one day closer to your ambition. So, make every morning count. Cup after cup, morning after morning. Start strong, finish strong. Nescafe.
Piles can be so irritable. It itches badly, causes inflammation of the rectum, and gives so much pain and discomfort. But here comes the solution: Anodol. Anodol suppositories contains bismuth subgalate, balsam peru, and zinc oxide to give you relief from the irritating effects of piles and hemorrhoids. Get Anodol and get your life back. Anodol suppositories for relief.
If you want to become something, become a child again. Why be a patient? If you must worry, then worry about winning. Why worry about germs? When you come home, bring tales and stories. Why bring in germs?
Shield your families from germs. When Dettol is a part of every household bucket, then you and your family can stay protected from up to 100 illness-causing germs.
Everyday use of Dettol keeps my loved ones protected.
Hindi. Thanks for staying with us. We're still discussing this matter of language. And it started off first with Lagos State tweeting in Yoruba, and then it went to Bauchi State making Hausa the official language. And we talked about different angles. But let me come to Mariam. Mariam's going to take us into a different angle.
Yeah, so I was talking about the geopolitical, and I said that the zones were created really for administrative purposes, not really paying attention to the differences, you know, in the different communities. And also that when you talk about, I like what Hassan was saying, that, you know, this language, when you now make it an official political language or language that be used in political administrative offices, then it sort of brings a problem, which I foresee, because doing that does not necessarily make people even want to love the language or speak the language. Right now, the way it's done, there are many people of different origins that live in Lagos State that speak Yoruba like this. There are people that live in the north that speak Hausa so great. There are some people who be like, are you really not Hausa? I say, no, I'm Igbo. I've met an Igbo person that speaks Hausa better than I do, you know? So it depends. So Nigerians already, we travel to different parts of the country. We pick up the language, we accept the language, and that is what I feel we should encourage. Then our different, that is more likely to bring unity than taking a language, especially if we don't do it well in the regions that I have highlighted, and giving like a blanket language, that is more likely to cause problems. But just allow people to mingle. After all, we're intermarrying, you know. Whether we like it or not, some people would lose some of their languages because they have married into a family and it's predominantly, you know, one language or one culture over another. So that is what I feel that we should encourage. And I think we also do that with NYC. People will go and spend a year doing their NYC in one state, and they've picked up some things in the state. And when they leave and they see you from that state, they are excited to be connected to you based on language.
Let me take this call. Good morning, Lap.
Hello, good morning, my
Thanks for calling. You're live. Yes.
I am the first caller of this.
Welcome to the show. Lapnen, okay.
And in fact, I am so very happy with the program that you people are on now.
Lapnen.
I am Angat, my friend.
Yay.
I come from
Plateau State.
Oh, okay.
And usually the issue of language. Well, language is what we teach. But I think by God, we are all one.
Yes, we are.
Then the issue of that language, either Plateau, Benue, Lokoja, Taraba, Gombe, Maiduguri, all those areas I count, they have so many different kind of languages.
Yes.
So then you cannot come today and enforce Hausa for me. I am Angat by tribe. You want me to follow you because I speak Hausa with you. It cannot work because I am Angat by tribe. I migrate from Yemen to Maiduguri, from Maiduguri to Plateau. Then why will I come now? Today you come from one corner. You tell me that I am Angat or I am Hausa. That was cannot work. That is where the problem is coming. That's why some people, when they come, if they know that they are the dominant, they would like to override the other language.
Thank you, Lapnen.
I don't think the conversation is about forgetting your identity.
Yes.
I just think the conversation is about projecting one national front for to strengthen us, to strengthen who we are as a people, to strengthen how the international and other countries will look at us and say, okay, these people have this and these people. It's simply for identification and for labeling. So nobody is saying because you now want to make this one superior to. It's not about superiority. It's about just, okay, how are we projecting to the world? That's what I see. And if we sit here with everything else and highlight all the ways something will not work, that thing will never work. The conversation should be, is this even a possibility? How can we do this? How can we have this conversation? What sort of conversations are we supposed to have? Which stakeholders, which language professionals are we going to engage? Let's even present some things to the table. Let's begin to look at it. But if we just close our minds and close our hearts, we will not get anywhere. So I believe personally in one Nigeria. I've not been speaking my own dialect for a very long time. It doesn't mean I've lost who I am or I've forgotten that I'm an Asaba person. When they forced me or they taught me in school to speak, not forced, taught me in school because it was a prerequisite. In primary school, you must learn local language. My parents did not revolt to say, why are they not speaking Asaba dialect? I learned what was presented to me as the national language for that place. If my husband speaks Yoruba,
because that was what they taught him in school.
That's what they taught him in school. He did not revolt to say, I am Ika. Why are they teaching me Yoruba in school? It was what was presented. Right. So for the national good, we may have to revisit some things and swallow our language ego, because what I hear sometimes is nobody wants to be suppressed. This is original to me. This is what I must project. But when it comes to national discourse, some things may just have to step down for others.
Language ego. Good morning, Femi. Are you there?
Yeah, I'm still there.
Thanks for calling. Go ahead, please.
Yeah, I'm a first-time caller.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you very much. This language discourse, I'm very, very interested in it. And I think it's foundational.
Yeah.
The Bible says that if the foundation is rotten, what can the righteous do?
Yeah.
We have this issue about there is politics in it, and there is tribalism in it.
Thank
For
you.
instance, you are in Lagos, and you have been living in Lagos for 3 years. You cannot speak the language. When you speak to them, they say that, I know they speak Yoruba. So how can you live in a place and not being able to speak that language? If you live in a community, you integrate with that community, learn their language first and foremost, so that you can relate with them very well. That's one angle. The other angle is that this NYSC thing, they were discussing this morning, and I think the NYSC something is wrong. If you go to a place to serve for 1 year, you must be able to speak the language of that community before coming back to your own community.
Thank you.
If that is not in place, then the NYSC should design a program such that when you get to that community, you have language class, maybe for 1 or 2 hours every week. When you go to do your community something, where you be taught the local language. So I think at this time, this nation, that the state, the state assemblies that are going back to it, they are doing the right thing.
Mr. Lufemi,
yes?
Let me ask you a question. So we got that part of the argument, which is great. But let me ask you your thoughts, because people are saying that the state government is, I'm trying to say it in English, I can't find the English word, is paying to the non Yoruba speaking people within Lagos with this attempt to be tweeting in Yoruba. Do you agree?
How do you
nobody can be forced to speak a language.
Okay.
You get my point? But it deals that individual that when you live in that community, you must be able to speak that language so that you can relate with the people. That's why we have this problem. Even within the individual homes, the parents will tell their children, don't speak Yoruba.
Okay.
Why we tell children, look, I have 6 children and they are doing very well.
You have 6 children?
One of them is MSc, master's degree, and I don't speak English to them within the home. I don't speak English to them. I speak Yoruba to them. And look, if you speak your own language very well, you know your language very well, you will be able to speak English very well. Because you can transmit from one language to the other.
Yes.
If you don't speak your...
I think I've shared that example here. My husband said he didn't start speaking English until he entered secondary school, GSS1. That's when he started learning English for the first time.
He learned it
and
right.
He speaks fluent Yoruba and fluent English. All right, you have to wrap up soon.
Yes, I was just going to say about this language ego. It's important because it's an identity. It's a very strong one. The part of my conversation is not that nothing can be done. It's just that in doing anything, you have to take cognizance of the differences that we have. You know, as our last caller said, this is a foundational issue. It has to do with people and their way of life and their belief system. So if you understand that, then you understand that when you pick a language without, taking into cognizance these people, it has unintended consequences. Yes, it may be good for business, it may be good for one united front, but the unintended consequences will be how you will be sidelining or disenfranchising some people in some way that they don't feel like a part of a group because they have been blanketed over. And that's why I'm going back to the South African story. If it was not so important, they would have continued with the English and Afrikaans. It is important. Language is important. It's important. Those small communities or small languages, as much as we would like a unified front, it is important that we understand that it cannot happen without acknowledging the different cultures, different communities, different languages. It is not ego. Yeah. It is pride. And it is the essence of who we are. We would not have a Nigeria if we didn't have these languages. It's also the conversation you have with blacks and whites abroad, where they are saying, oh, some people are saying, we don't see color. And they're saying, no, see color, see that we are different. I understand the differences within our community and respect it. And that is what I am trying to say. Don't be in a hurry to give us a blanket language. It would divide more than it will unify us.
So I get that. So, but what I'm hearing, however, is that it's more for administrative purposes.
Yes.
So you still have that your identity, your own language, but if we can have a language that, okay, when we get to the office, just like we've adopted English as the general administrative language, but we have our individual languages.
I find that dangerous.
Okay. All right, so I was going to attempt to read this, because now that they've tweeted in Yoruba, we are forced to read in Yoruba. So let me read this, just to show the governor that I have gotten your message. Gómìnà Babájídé Olúṣọlá Sanwó-Olú yan akọ̀wé àgbà méje mìíràn lẹ́ka ètò ìlera ìjọba ìpínlẹ̀ Èkó, àtẹ̀jáde kan tí olórí àwọn òṣìṣẹ́.
You're reading Yoruba like me.
Right? I'm getting it right now.
Sort of. Yeah,
right? Wait, calm down. Kan tí olórí àwọn òṣìṣẹ́ ọba ìpínlẹ̀ Èkó, Ọ̀gbẹ́ni Akeem Muri-Okunola fọwọ́ sí, ṣàlàyé pé òṣìṣẹ́ ètò ìlera làwọn ẹni tí wọ́n yàn sípò náà látàrí ọwọ́ òkùnkùndùn. What's that?
Látàrí ọwọ́.
All I know is I need to say something funny. When I put the Google Translate, you know where you put there's some things that they translated. I'm sure that's not what the governor said. So we need to be careful.
All right, we got to wrap up. But it's really, it's really interesting. I struggled, but I'm very good at Amiohun.
Yeah.
I'm extremely good.
If you took your time.
Yes, if I had taken my time, I would have gotten it right.
What's it often?
Yes, over and over. So
the marking
tone marks.
The
tone marks, yes. Yeah. That tells you how it's pronounced.
Down.
But I'm really good at that. All right, let's go on a break. When we come back, move on to another topic. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your view will be right back.
It's a moment. Instant breaking news from all over the globe. Live streaming of your favorite programs delivered directly to you. Watch anytime from anywhere on your mobile or smart devices. Download the TVC News app today. Available on Google Play and Apple Store.
Sometimes it's the story that calls. At other times, the people just want to be heard.
I need students, but I need teacher.
Can't continue like this.
Their voices re-echoing through time itself.
We haven't done anything. If the tide is high, everybody run for safety.
Their tears leave a sweet sour taste for all their demands. A familiar call beckoning for change. In our world, no one expects a disaster to happen. But when it does, we'll be there to x-ray all sides, from the east to the west, north and south. Community Forum will examine the oddities and challenges to economic development, as well as issues yearning for government intervention. Watch fresh episodes of Community Forum on Sundays by 9:30 p.m. only on TVC News.
Lagos is the most visited state in Africa, as the 5th largest economy on the continent. Covering the state and its government is no mean feat, it's a busy beat. We go beyond the curtain of tapes to traveling far into the deep.
I want to thank the Lagos state government for the healthcare facility.
To bring stories that cut across all spectrums.
A greater Lagos shall be ours.
We tell you stories that define our collective well-being as Lagosians. I'm Adedoja Salamadeniyi. I live in Lagos, inside Lagos.
In the month of July,
On the 2nd of July, the global community celebrates World Sport Journalists Day. The 5th of July is the first anniversary of the Kuje prison attack when some Boko Haram insurgents escaped. The 7th of July marks 25 years since the winner of the June 12, 1993 presidential election, MKO Abiola, died.
Thanks for staying with us. All right, so there's a story that caught our attention about begging.
Yeah.
Tucker, would you like to establish the story?
Yes, so a popular actor.
Yes.
His name is Chidi. We know him as the Akiapopo, but really, I wanted to get his name, Ositame.
Chinedu
Ekedieze. So he came on social media he did a video to address a lot of his, what he said his DM has turned into an ATM. Like, it's a request that when he opens his DM, it's a constant, that he is not Bank of Industry. It's a constant request all the time. That even, how do they think he's making the money? Where do they think he's getting money from? Somebody was asking him for $35,000. Another person was asking, as like a lot of people were asking for a huge amount of money, ridiculous amount of money. And he said, it is wrong. We need to stop this. And that's how I was discussing, because we also are on the receiving end.
Right,
so the amount, Abi.
So the amount was obviously outrageous, $35,000, which is about 27 million naira, and that was asking for $12,000. He wants me to open a shop, So now there are two things. People see celebrities who are spending money, stupendous money on social media, buying Versace, buying all these big brands, traveling up and down. They're living in nice, luxurious hotels, going for exotic vacations, and they're saying, okay, give me some of that money now. I need to start business. I need to pay school fees. I need to do something. So that is there. Now, would you blame them for making a request to them? Because sometimes they've been lucky. You send that kind of request to a celebrity, and it's in a good mood. He says, send your account number. We see it all the time. Celebrities say account number. They send you $10,000 or 1,000 naira. That money comes in handy. So it's a trial luck thing where I send a request to you because you're hoping that they might be in a good mood, and they say, you never know, you might be reaching celebrity when the pastor just told you, give to the first 10 people that call to you, and you make it. However, there are some people, who are just regular folks, or who are just like you and I, earning salary. People see us on social media, and suddenly we are blown, and they are requesting us to support them, but it happens all the time, and that's the conversation, because like I said it, we need to discuss the spirit of begging. Because some you beg and you say, so sorry, I don't have it. But they insist that, you should have it now. What do you look at your hair? The whole you? No, please, I'm only asking for 100,000 naira. I'm sure you have it. So there are some people that kind of go overboard, insist on it. So that's the conversation we're having today. BC, let me come to you.
I like how you captured the whole thing, saying that it could be trial luck.
Yeah.
And it's happened to a lot of us, especially on this table. There are sometimes you get this request and your spirit moves you. Like, I've paid people school fees.
Yeah.
I don't know them before. They used to catch me with education. What is education? Like this, I'm melting. I'm like, and I just sent, my spirit just said, send it. I didn't even ask. The lady was like, she sent me her house address. She sent me her school. She sent me letters to show that she was genuine. She really needed the help. But I sent it before I even saw some of those things, because I worked with my spirit. But the most annoying part for me is the one that somebody will say, they've not chatted you before, they don't know you from anywhere, they'll just drop, hi, I need money for so and so and so and so and so, God bless you, and put account details. And I'm wondering, did I even ask for your account details? Where do you want me to get this money? I don't even respond to such messages. And I feel it's, people should learn some soft skills in approaching people. And I understand that Nigeria is hard, right? Sometimes I wonder, don't they have family members? They may also not have family members that are able to help them out, okay? But even if that's begging, there's an approach you use. You don't say hi and just start making requests. You introduce yourself. If the person has the time to read all of those, because some people might actually, like you said, Pastor has said, oh yeah, give 10 people that reach out to you, or you're in the mood to give. A lot of people believe that when they give, they receive more. So as you're doing work, like every month, I put aside of my budget for help. I call it a charity, right? It's part of my monthly allowance. I just draft so and so amount. So sometimes people get lucky and I'm able to give from there. But when I finish that quota, I finished it and there's nothing I can do for you. But if you learn how to approach properly, even if the person says, I don't have, I'm not giving, or does not reply, you there and be flaunting. Somebody told me, but you say you get money now. I was not looking for where I had a conversation with her that I had money. So people need to, I won't say don't beg because it's a part of our culture. Wow. But
begging and asking is different.
It's the same thing.
No, begging is I'm begging you, I'm constantly, you're being a bit more.
If you disturb me too much, I'll block you. Yeah. Asking is begging because you don't know me. We don't have a relationship. Right. So if I come to you, Mariah, and say, please, I need so and so. I ask you, I'm not begging you because we have a relationship. But somebody who does.
And what are your thoughts on this corporate begging matters that we see? I mean, this guy said they turned his. He said idea to Bank of Industry because
it's so funny. I think really now it's about the begging that we're talking about, not about the giving. You know, because we give as the Lord leads. I really don't like to talk about giving, but the begging, especially on social media, can come across as a bit entitled, insensitive sometimes, and sometimes you can get some rude comments. At first, I think it was a Lagos problem, but I've been told that it's everywhere. Because I would never forget.
Who's blaming Lagos for everything?
I will tell you because I have to experience it. And I experienced some new things, culture shock, you know. So I will never forget one time someone stopped me and asked followed me. I stopped at a fast food place, followed me in there. I was a bit uncomfortable. I saw the person hovering about. I got out, got back into the car, and then the person approached me and said, please, could you give me? And I had the change I had on, I gave it to him. He said, only this? I have never heard it in my life. That's all, ask you for something and you give them what you have. And it was my last change, I just handed over. Only this one. You are more than this. I was in shock. I was telling everybody, this Lagos, this is how they do it. Oh, it's everywhere. It's everywhere now. The thing has spread. You know, because it's a sign of lack of proper upbringing. You don't have, it just shows that people are not being brought up properly.
Right.
Begging is not a virtue. I have to say, that's the truth. It's not a virtue. Usually people that are begging from place to place, people that are begging from, you know, to have a lifestyle, you know, begging for a lifestyle. And I don't think that that's the right way to go about life. Okay. Try and do your work, you know, put in the best that you can. Whatever God has given you at that time, do the best that you can. If you're desperate, that's where we talk about government and all the philanthropic causes. There are places like that that you can reach out. And then giving, you should allow the person to come from their place to reach out.
All this philanthropy. Let me take Lucinda, I'll come back to you. Good morning, Lucinda. Thanks for calling.
Good morning.
You're live. Go ahead, please.
Hello?
Yes, you're live.
Yeah, I'm a first-time caller.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you. I'd like to make a point. During the tumultuous times when when there was no money, our relatives had to use POS. So I reached out to many people, some of them, you know, for burials, randomly, you know.
We're having difficulty hearing you, Lucinda. It's breaking out. I think she was trying to say that I didn't get her, but I thought she said something about reaching out to family.
So,
for money or something like that.
So, when it comes to people asking for things, I think that we all have different upbringing. I think it has to do with how you've been brought up. Because no matter how tough things are, my default would be I would find a way, like create a solution, create a product, just find a solution, not ask someone for that thing, especially someone I don't have any relationship with. And I think we should speak against that. You shouldn't walk to somebody that you don't know in any form to ask for something. And here's what my opinion is, and it might be pride or arrogant. I know if you know you are a resourceful person, I know that you are on a journey towards greatness. You don't want someone to feel like there was this story about you, how you were begging for money everywhere. God can lift anybody. I think that we should talk about building relationships, so that when you have a need, you have somebody to reach out to. Because there's no human being that does not have a need. Every human being, at some point in time, there'll be someone, you will have a need. And if you have a need, you should have somebody around you that knows you and cares enough about you that will be able to support you in that time of need. Then you too, don't make it a habit to always be in need, that you now need somebody and they will now see you and see that this person is asking for money. That's one. Another part that is very important is when people come and ask for things from me, many people, everybody here I know has a charity budget-ish, conscious, and the ones that you just do as the spirit leads. Because I have met so many people that are commercial beggars, and we must admit that there are people that are this is their industry. Like I have work that I'm doing now. For some people, their job is to beg. They wake up in the morning, dress up, and they go out on the streets, and they beg, and they have a target of how much they will make. And they go around and they do this. That's their source of work. I don't give people like that money. How do you know? To prevent that, I chose to do charity through my church that I know has benevolence. So you come and meet me and say you want help. I'll tell you, come on Sunday to this address. They give food every Sunday. And go and, not food, they give bags every Sunday. And in church this Sunday, it was announced that, see, we need to get more because the number of people that come to collect food has increased. So I know now I will do through that channel. Some people support Cocoon Foundation because they know Cocoon does food. But if you are someone that goes into DM to ask for money, I would not listen to you because my idea is you don't know me. You would have sent to and it has happened before. The person sent to all of us. And I know 2 people are giving money to that person. So you need 100,000, you send to 50 people, you have got 500,000 naira. That's me, I'm struggling to make it.
Let me take this call from. Good morning, thanks for calling.
Yeah, good morning.
You're live, go ahead please.
Okay, my name is Najib Abbas from Zara, Kaduna State.
Thanks for calling, go ahead.
It's hot, isn't it? Okay. To me, if you are requesting on social media like that, I won't respond. Actually, if you really need help, there are some kind of people that you can go straight forward and ask them. Within your family, you can have some that they are really want to assist anytime that you want. So I don't see any reason that you will be asking people on social media for help.
Oh, I lost that, Mujid. You see, I wanted to bring an angle fact that people beg because they need, and because sometimes, as I said earlier, when celebrities are celebrities, some people send a message or request or asking or beg a celebrity and they get it done. And you have a friend who asked Davido for money or who asked somebody and Davido sent them money. That's somebody's testimony. And I also want that same testimony. And that's how I'll send a DM also to Dave just in case I get it. So sometimes when you get this request, you don't have to respond to it, but you must understand where that the person, where the man is, what the woman is coming from.
You're talking of intention here.
Yes, intention.
Right? So someone has made a legitimate request, and Davido or whoever responds to the person, and the person, what the next person is doing is that he has seen a method of receiving money. So it's not a legitimate request. It's so this is a method of reaching out to people, and who knows who I might try. So it's really about the intention. That's what. Talking about giving and taking is quite hard because you're trying to differentiate asking and begging. For me, I feel it's.
I think begging is persistent. Asking is just one off.
No. You can ask persistently. Yes. Really, you can ask persistently. And a lot of people have used the Bible to do
God will bless you.
Remember the widow that stayed by the lawyer's house until she overpowered him with her asking. He listened to her, and they say, "Ask and you shall receive." And I've heard people even say this to me, that if you don't ask, you will never receive. But I was brought up to be told, figure it out yourself. You have to be. That's why, for someone to ask of you sometimes, and especially there's some sort of people I know, for me, I feel that for that person to have asked, that person has done all that they can, to come and ask.
Like genuine.
Yes, but many people have just figured out that there's a system. Just throw out this thing to 10 people, who knows, maybe 2 answer. Then there's alms. You're asking for alms. Alms, people that collect alms, they are not asking you for a specific amount. Whatever is within your heart or means, you drop it and they bless you and you go. And it's also a religious thing where when you give alms, you get blessings. So are you on the street with your alms, collecting whatever they give you, is that who you are? But there are some people that we know that they have turned this into a business where they just want to see who is vulnerable.
Let's we like
defining beggar.
We always define it in our own way and our own understanding. According to the English dictionary, ask is to look for an answer to a question by speaking, while beg is to request the help of someone, often in the form of money. So there's no ask in this matter.
No, I can ask. Please, can you give me can you help me with my children's?
So if you're asking, you can ask for a loan, but you cannot beg for a loan.
That's beg.
Yes, you can.
Ask for a
loan.
Ask for a loan, but you can beg
English
for
language.
Everybody is beg.
We just try to make ask seem like it's higher than ask is question. Yeah, the way we're doing now, you ask me, I answer. You ask us, we answer.
I can ask you for a loan, just like you said. I can ask you. It's a question.
That's a loan. But if you beg me for that,
are you able to help? Okay. Are you able to pay for my school fees?
Yes, that's
Are you able to pay for my school fees?
That's different.
It's a question.
But if you beg me for money,
no. Okay.
So we are, so we're doing it's an education. Because we're teaching people. Some people right now that they are watching all their life, they've always known that if I need money, I'll find one uncle that will ask, that will give me. I'll go and beg this uncle, I'll beg this auntie. When I was in school, I was enjoying. My brother, my sister, this one, they will send me money. So that's the mindset. So even as they become adults, they are still always looking for somebody to buy me a phone. This one to buy me this one. I want a shoe. Buy for me. They are always collecting from people. That's your habit. That is a bad habit.
Go and work.
We must talk about that. Establish that.
Let me pause you for a second, please. Lucinda is back from the UK. Good morning, Lucinda. Hopefully we can hear her now. Good morning, Lucinda.
Good morning. Good morning. Love you very much, the whole panel. Now, my point is, at the time when, during the lack of money, people were using POS, I sent money to everybody, even the workers who work for me.
Okay.
Now, they had a real need of burial sometimes, but they took advantage of that. Now, every time they're broke, oh, Mama, can you send us this? I want to do this. I want to do the other. No. UK is going through a lot.
As well.
We are we are feeling different as well somehow. And so somebody to come and give you at least £30 is coming out of the budget of the home.
Yeah,
exactly.
So they shouldn't do that. People should try their best to see that, they are able to care for themselves. If it's a child, if it's a mother, single mother, she's having problems with children going to school to eat, we can understand that. But all in all, Mariah, you should form a foundation as such, where we can put our resources and then you deal the best people to give it.
Yeah, thank you, Lucinda. Thank you, Lucinda. That's something I've always thought about, because we get these requests all the time. There's got to be a structure to this giving. They put a foundation together that can actually help and support, because the requests always come. Some will be legitimate and some will be just taking advantage.
For me, I have a religious body. My church does this. They give food, they give clothes on a weekly basis. At a point, they reduce it to 2 times in a month. I know Cocoa Foundation does the same thing as well, and people do use their platform to give. And we must start supporting those kind of...
No, it's not food they want to. They want you to give them money.
So, let me explain another thing.
To pay
so I discussed with someone. My children are going to secondary school. The school we're going into was based on choice of finance. We did exams in 2 schools. When I got the bill for the first school, I could have forced myself and say, I'm going to do this.
Yeah.
But I looked at the budget and I'm like, I'm not going to put my kids in this school. I'll now be forced every time. I will never have to beg, but I don't want to inconvenience myself or put our family into financial strain.
Yeah.
So if you find yourself in a school that you cannot afford to pay for, then you will go choose a school that you can afford to pay for, not beg someone for money to pay for that school fees per time. Then building relationships.
Afford any school at all.
There's public school. Now let's
remove.
No,
BC.
No, BC.
You write things in those public schools.
Let me put it. Let's see. Begging is a choice that we choose to make.
I know.
And when we talk about making those choices, is that we feel like they are better off than me and they should be helping me. But like I said, I didn't want to. It's not pointing fingers to anybody. We're teaching because some people don't know better. So first is that don't beg. Find a way to solve a problem for that person. 2, build relationships. There are interns in this office that have gone through here that if they call me that they need money for balancing their school fees, I will not blink. It might cost me. I might ask my husband. I will support them. Because when they were interns just in TVC and they spent 3 months or 6 months, the quality of relationships they built, everybody knew them. Everybody liked them, even beyond the department they were assigned to work. And they probably maintained that relationship even after then. But you have lived your life till 35 and you don't know anybody that you know that cares about you enough that will help you. You have a problem. It's not me. So let us deal with the issue.
Yes, it's deep and I understand, but I have seen situations where life battered people. So this is not because they want to be beggars. They will present they have handwork, but because of the location of where they are, they're not able to put it to use, or there are no customers who would patronize, that kind of thing. I've seen those very dire situations, and it wasn't something I could remove my face from because I did not understand. So I had those conversations. It was as bad as we cannot, in fact, they've sent these kids away from school. I have to take them to my mother. I don't even have money to register them to a public school. So there are very deep situations that somehow you just have that milk of human kindness and say, okay, what can I do to ensure that these children stay in school while you start doing something so that subsequently you're not coming back to me all the time.
So when you come back all the time,
hold on. No, so far so good. This person has not come back. Right? This person is
a specific one.
Yes.
Majority come back. Yeah, I wish we can call Nima. Nima will tell you stories.
Hold on now.
Nima will tell you stories.
Allow me to. Let's not cancel everybody.
They are
unique situations, and that is where your intuition and the gift of the Holy Spirit will help you to discern. Is this person coming to me genuinely? And if it's laid in your heart to help, please help. If these ones are thieves, if you trust your intuition so bad, if they hurt you 1 time, 2 times, you will sift them out. But let's not invalidate the fact that some people actually genuinely need this help, and they don't have anybody in their community. Nobody in their family is even big enough, small, to even help them. Maybe they are all on the same level, all struggling one way or the other. Let's not cancel them out.
Thanks for calling. Tunde calling from the UK. You're live. Thanks for calling.
Good morning.
Good morning to
please,
you.
I just want to add my voice to what you're discussing. Am I allowed to probably start with your earlier discussion this morning?
Absolutely. It's your view. Let it count.
Okay. In terms of the language, I think language is very essential for development. And in case of Nigeria, the first thing I think to do is to repartition the country along ethnic and language lines. Okay. Because doing this will facilitate development. And it's going to come with its own benefits and disbenefits like any other change. Yeah. A change comes with benefits and misbenefits or disbenefits. Yeah. For the Southwest, it is easier because we have everybody speaking the same language. The Yorubas in Kwara will probably be ceded to the Southwest, and the Southeast, in some parts of Kogi and some Kogi, I think Benue, and the South, we have Igbo-speaking people. They go to the Igbo side of things, and we're going to have a multicultural environment in the North. But if my knowledge of the North is what I think it is, there's an established lingua franca already in the North, which is Hausa.
Thank you very much, Tunde. Thank you for sharing your views. I lost my train of thoughts on what I was going to say, but go ahead, Sakwe.
So, I'm not, like I said, it's not judging or casting aspersion. Like I said, I kept repeating, it is let us learn. You know why I'm saying we're learning is because there are places where you serve in church. There are churches, most churches where you serve. Somebody is serving there and you face challenges. You know, you can call someone in church that will be able to do what? Help you out. Right. And because you have displayed diligence in some form of way, you have built relationships. The real lesson for me is, and I know that life can happen to everybody. Yeah. Because my mom said one time, she called me, she was like, the way you shared my stories, like you think, you made it look like we were always poor. No, but we had a time when she was duped of a whole lot of money and we had major challenge. It was not she did not think of begging anybody. It was a case of we would drink our gari and pray that God will send food to us. And somebody just voluntarily just came in and brought rice and tomato paste for us. And that was God showing up. And sometimes you build relationship, you know somebody that can help you. That's another side. Another thing I wanted to say, because we know there are genuine people that have needs, and you help them, and then it becomes a revolving circle where they keep coming back. You pay the rent for the first year, rent for second year. You're now paying the school fees for their children, first child, second child, third child.
But that's what the caller said, Lucinda, where she understood at the time when we're having the cash crunch, and she was helping. But eventually, they figured out a system, and they were asking her for everything in spite of what they are going through right now. And that's what we're focusing on. So I'm happy that you highlighted that, but you know, that's not the focus today. We're talking of people who have turned begging into a lifestyle, and without genuine reason for the begging, only for them to just get what they can get from anyone that they can get.
There was a lady I had to block, somebody that, I used to work with her in the past, and life happened to her. And obviously, I even remember the other story, myself and YK, actually, I decided to help a lady. If you remember the gunshot wound, I think, something like, you know. So YK took one child, I took the other child, and we paid the person's school fees till they finished the school. And after that, the lady left us. Because she appreciated that, okay, you guys are handling. That was what she wanted. And if she calls me tomorrow now, ask me one, I will give her, because I know that she had tried to make a life of herself. Because after the school fees, she wrote me a long message, my son has graduated, congrats, thank you very much. And I was happy, and they moved on with their life. That kind of genuine situation, absolutely. Now, there was another person.
If you didn't give, you wouldn't have known.
No, what I'm saying that so there's the genuine giving, but somebody will take advantage of that.
Yes.
After graduation, someone back.
Someone like that also. There are people like that. You have decided this is what I want to help with, but then they'll ask you for tomato. They'll ask you for this. They'll ask you for you know, a relative of ours passed on, and it is important for me to visit. And you're thinking, yes, I've helped.
Or some you want to pay the school fees, they will tell you pay it to my own account.
Sometimes if you don't help, you won't know, right? But the idea is do not enable them. So when they come the first time and maybe the Spirit said help, and you help and they come back, you tell them no. You must learn to say no, and that's why a lot of us get into problems.
Let me read YK. I'll take one and you tell somebody to take the other one. So YK says two things. There was one-handed beggar I used to give money and decided to give him a job as a security man. He left the job after 1 or 2 months, saying he made more money from begging and relocated to Ibadan, so I would not see him on the road.
Good. Yeah, she's also sent this message. She says, last week a girl came to me, said she wanted to dance. I auditioned her and she couldn't dance. She said she was just coming from Kogi. She had nowhere to stay, wanted to follow me home. I said I had no space. She said she needs a place for her family in Kogi. I said I would look for a job for her. I gave her 2K. And said it wasn't enough. She needed 21 million naira.
Like I said, if I have 21 million naira to give you, I will not give myself.
As in
21 million.
I'm saying. So,
entitlement.
You know, we've not talked about the other side of this part. We have to wrap up. Because people see us and they just think, governor came to their show.
Some people have asked,
giving them all the money.
They will break it down how I should do it. Break it down. If it's a house they're about to, blocks will cost this will cost this will cost this will cost this.
Send
it to this account in this so way. I'm telling you.
And they called me to give them, to let them, they want to meet the governor. Somebody told me, I want to meet the governor, please help me. I said, your governor came to your show, I need a job. I've met the governor. Maybe I took picture with the governor of Lagos State. So I have his personal number and I call him every morning. We are eating breakfast together. Yes. So I should give you a job. Let me push this something. Somebody send me a proposal. I've been trying to get the governor to see this thing. And
made that ordinary MC event with the president. Suddenly, we are going to send the proposal. Come on,
guys.
We are TV presenters.
There's one case that I am looking at, and that
we have to wrap up.
Grabs my heart. I just wish that there was something.
Unfortunately, we can't take that story right now. That's all we can take on today's show. Hope you enjoyed it as much as we did. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye for now.
Is a paid presentation by ShopX TV. Do you spend the night trying to get comfortable?
Your knees rub bone on bone. Your back and hips ache. You wake up in pain? Not anymore. ShopX TV is proud to introduce the Contour Legacy Pillow, the patented, ergonomically designed tapered leg pillow that naturally fits the contours of your legs, knees and thighs to help align your spine and alleviate pain. Watch, when you sleep on your side, your leg falls forward, twisting your pelvis and lower back, putting pressure on your spine, hip and sciatic. But the Contour Legacy Pillow cushions your knees and cradles your legs, relieving stress on joints while restoring your lower back alignment. Sleeping on your side, your leg comes over and puts you out of alignment, causing lower back pain, hip pain, even knee pain. By using the Contour Legacy Pillow, it restores the natural alignment of the spine, helping to alleviate pain and pressure, leading to much more restful sleep. Old-fashioned leg pillows are bulky, but the anatomical design of the Legacy Pillow fits perfectly the shape of your body the way nature intended. You can even use two together for full leg alignment. Legacy Pillow is exclusively ventilated, so it always stays cool and dry. With top crescent design, it cuddles up to you perfectly and easily moves with you. Ordinary pillows go flat, but the Legacy Pillow is made up of soft memory foam, so it never loses its shape and the cover is machine washable. The Contour Legacy Pillow is now available in Nigeria, exclusively from ShopX TV. You could be paying up to 500,000 naira for an orthopedic bed that doesn't properly support your spine. But call the number on your screen now and get 2 Legacy leg pillows for just 69,900 naira and get relief from back and hip issues. But wait! If you call now, we'll upgrade you to the Contour Better Sleep Collection. The collection comes with 2 Contour Legacy leg pillows and 2 Contour Cool Gel head pillows at no extra charge. The Contour Cool Gel head pillows' soothing orthopedic support will cradle your head and neck for full alignment, while keeping you cool all through the night for the best sleep of your life. Incredible! That's 2 Contour Legacy pillows and 2 Cool Gel head pillows for just 69,900 naira. And that's not all. Place your order now and we'll also deliver your Contour Better Sleep collection with no shipping charge. But hurry! This is an exclusive ShopX TV offer and only available for a limited period. So, call now while stock lasts. Your rest is your wealth.
The proceeding was a paid presentation brought to you by ShopX TV.
Never miss a moment. Instant breaking news from all over the globe. Live streaming of your favorite programs delivered directly to you. Watch anytime from anywhere on your mobile or smart devices. Download the TVC News app today. Available on Google Play and Apple Store.
Hello there, there's a brand new quarter and your favorite TV program CAC Weekly is about to unveil new innovations fresh from the Nigerian Company Registry. Now, have you heard of the Extensible Business Reporting Language XBRL standard for filing of electronic financial statements? Do you also know that there's so much that you can do on your own on the company's registration portal CRP from the comfort of your home or your office? Because the CRP offers end-to-end electronic registration solution for accredited customers and the general public to initiate and complete pre-registration and post-registration applications electronically, online filing of annual returns, online registration of limited liability partnership and limited partnership. See you there.
Have you been thinking of where to acquire knowledge without stress and inconvenience? Then what are you waiting for? The National Open University of Nigeria is the place to be. For up-to-date information about the National Open University's programs and activities, you join me, Lulu Bankong, on NOUN Update, showing on this station every Friday at 12:30 p.m.
In the month of July, on the 2nd of July, the global community celebrates World Sport Journalists Day. The 5th of July is the first anniversary of the Kuje prison attack when some Boko Haram insurgents escaped. The 7th of July marks 25 years since the winner of the June 12, 1993 presidential election, MKO Abiola, died. His death occurred in 1998. 11th of July is World Population Day. while 15th is World Youth Skills Day. On the 17th, attention is turned to World Day for International Justice, while 18th of July is Nelson Mandela Day to honor the former South African leader. 25th of July is the World Diaspora Day, and on the 20th, the World Hepatitis Day is commemorated, as well as the World Nature Conservation Day. On the 29th of July, President Bola Tinubu will mark 2 months in office, and the 30th of July is World Day Against Trafficking in Persons. Brace up and tune in to TVC News for in-depth analysis and reports. TVC News, first with breaking news.
Well, good morning and thank you very much for joining us. I am Iyori Folarin. Okay, there's a conversation point in the society. Let me put it like that. It's a matter of bandits and then amnesty for bandits. As you're aware, very recently the former governor of former Governor Ahmed Yerima, former governor of Zamfara State, visited the president and reportedly was recommending to the president that he should consider negotiating with bandits, talking with bandits with an idea of giving them amnesty. I've heard all sorts of reasons. One of the ones that we've heard before that has really been annoying to some people is that just like the federal government did, to Niger Delta militants, this might be an opportunity to extend that particular notion. Okay, there have been groups since then saying, yeah, urging, that let's go that way. And there have been groups saying, absolutely not. President, please discountenance any such suggestions. Okay, so we're going to look at it today and find out what are the issues there. We're fortunate we have a former secretary to the government of Katsina State, and Dr. Mustafa Inua is our guest this morning. He joins us via Zoom. Good morning to you, Dr. Mustafa Inua.
Oh, good morning.
Yes, thank you very much for making time for us. So as I was saying, you're former secretary to the government of Katsina State, so you're really in the thick of it, in the sense that you know all about those issues going back to when you were in government. Now, give me your thoughts on the whole notion of bandits, quite frankly, criminals that have been causing woe to our people. A former governor, now a senator, actually was proposing that, it might be a good idea to engage with them, talk with them, with a view to reaching some sort of amnesty. Your thoughts on that whole notion, sir?
Okay, thank you very much for having me on this very important program. You see, I saw the comments by the former governor and a few others, like Sheikh Gubi, all in the same the bandit should be engaged and amnesty should be given. I think we have to be extremely careful in this, because here in Katsina we had experience of attempting that from 2017 to 2019, but it didn't work because of so many factors. First of all, let us understand this is banditry, this is criminality. This group of people are thieves. You understand? You cannot think of using the same issue in the Niger Delta.
Okay, as soon as we get Dr.
Even Boko Haram with this resource control, talking about their environment, talking about marginalization and so on. And they have leaders that you can sit and talk with it. And if you are able to come to agreement with them, you can achieve whatever you want to achieve, as started by late President Eradua. The sense of Boko Haram, they are talking on ideology, talking about religion, talking about things that they believe is not done the way they are supposed to be done. And they have leaders that you can sit with them, they can understand. If you are able to convince them, you have stronger points on the issues they are contesting, then you can have some reasonable understanding with them. But why you are dealing with criminals who are thieves, who are only interested in accumulating, taking about things from people, and they don't have common leaders, they are scattered. You see, I think it is important we understand the history and also the operations, the structure of these people before you can start talking about whether granting them amnesty or even talking to them, dialogue with them, and so on, even if it works. You understand? And this you can do from the point of strength, not from the point of weakness. Because if the bandits are seeking for government to come and negotiate with them, it's a difference. But while the government is asking the bandit, let us negotiate, I think it is wrong. One, they are thieves. Okay, if you ask them to leave what they are doing based on certain conditions, what condition do you give them? Do you continue to give them what they are getting from the communities, from the societies? The leaders have a lot of youth under them. So if they willingly accept to leave what they are doing, how do they continue to maintain such battalion of youth who have nothing doing? Apart, you see, this banditry is becoming culture now among these people. Like I said, it is important we understand the history. This is not something that started this year, 2 years ago, or even during this administration. As far back as 1891, banditry was existent in this area. And it continued even during the colonial period. If you go to history, you go to archive, you see all this. So it is not something that is new. But the problem is, like we said, they are interested in taking property from people. Initially, it was wrestling, cattle wrestling, and abusing. But now it's become a full-blown kidnapping issue and so on, where they kidnap people, they take ransom and huge sum of money, which they cannot get from any legitimate business or any legitimate thing they used to do. So the point is, let us not rush into taking decisions that will not be any meaningful. And if this issue has to be done, it has to be done holistically. Like I said, 2017, in Ghana here, we attempted doing that. We are able to succeed to some extent, but the problem is, it was only Ghana that engaged these people, and most of them, to be candid, they are not sincere. What they tell you is different from what they do. And once they accept, all those who accepted amnesty initially went back into the politics and continued their businesses. And the few ones who were sincere were killed by those who did not accept the arrangement because they did not trust them, they saw them as enemies, and they killed all of them. You understand? So it is not even possible for us to succeed because other states around, like Zamfara, Kaduna, Kebbi, and those affected states were not in support of what they were doing. So you find that those who did not accept the amnesty were majority, and therefore they not only killed those who accepted amnesty, but they also took away their livestock, including their wives. You understand?
Yeah.
So it is not easy. It is not something that we can say, yes, you go and negotiate. Moreover, there are moral questions. Look at what happened over the years. A lot of people were killed. A lot of people were abused, especially women. A lot of them have even children from those bandits. A lot of properties were lost. Many people have to sell their farms, their houses, and all what belonged to them to pay for ransom.
Okay.
And now you say, okay, let us
I beg your pardon.
give it. I said many of them to pay for ransom.
Okay, one moment, Dr. Inua. One moment, Dr. Inua. I've got to take a short break. I'll be right back. Please stay with us.
Planet, our home, threatened by man's activities with fears of mass extinction on the rise. On Green Angle, we examine the issues that affect our environment, seek solutions to put us on track to secure and restore a cleaner and greener world for generations to come.
Information is power, information is security, information is knowledge. On Labor Lens, we believe that working people around the world have real questions of their own. They want to know how the world of work operates, what it means to the employer of labor, how policies affect workers in the workplace. On Labor Lens, I ensure we engage effectively the organized labor, organized private sector and government to get out of them information workers are in need of. I am Sharon Ijason, asking questions that make you get sense of the workplace.
Okay, welcome back, and our guest is Dr. Mustafa Inua. He's a former secretary to the government of Katsina State, and we're talking about the whole idea of possibly granting amnesty to bandits plaguing them in the northwest and surrounding regions. He's, generally speaking, he has said that he is not really for it for a number of reasons, and he had just touched on there is a moral aspect to this whole thing. That's where we got to before we had to go on a break. And Dr. Inua, thank you for staying with us. Just as I was going to get there is when you mentioned this question of the moral issue. I guess that's the most worrying to people. How can people take on a whole country, its laws, and those that are in charge, those that are in charge seem not to be able to do the right thing. I say this in relation to all the some other troubles that we've had. We've had troubles with Boko Haram. You've explained that, yes, those ones might say that they actually have philosophical points. The Niger Delta, you've explained how you can't compare Niger Delta with bandits and that kind of a thing. But that a person, such an eminent person as a former governor, and a senator, is actually making these proposals. And I think among the things that were said were that, if the army were to go after them, for instance, in a once and for all kind of a manner, there will be collateral damage. We've heard that in relation to Boko Haram as well. I don't know what you make of such arguments. Because these are...
Collateral damage.
Yes, please continue, sir.
You see, what collateral damage people are talking about? You see, these people have waged war against the entire community. People are being killed on a daily basis. As I'm talking to you now, people are being killed in different parts of my state, at least in Zamfara and a few states around. You understand? Like I said, they kill so many people. They destroy so many things. They abuse so many women. And many people lost their properties to pay ransom for their loved ones, and some that are now rendered poor and without anything. So, you see, if the government, like I said this several times when I was in government, I said it in writing, I said it at various fora with the security agencies. Believe you me, if the government is to do what it's supposed to do, this will not take us more than 3 months to get clear. Because when you go around, I have opportunity to fly over the border with the airport. It's something that you can easily see. You can see people moving, you can see animals moving. It's not something that is very difficult to penetrate, but the security agencies are not doing what they're supposed to to do. This is the truth of the matter. You understand? And
Yes.
I said it several times, if they are to do anything, it should be done together by all the states. It should be done simultaneously. The ground troop and the air troop must work together to bring this to an end. Because like I said, everybody in the forest now, believe me, is criminal. Now, even if he's a child, he will grow up to become criminal. Because there is no way somebody who is not either a criminal, who is not a accomplice, can stay there alive, can live there peacefully. It's not possible. So it's a matter of fighting to save the lives of people that are being terrorized every day. People now don't go to farm. They don't go to market. They don't do what they ordinarily they do. So why are they looking only one side of the people, the criminals? These are criminals.
Dr. Inua, what's your idea? Because people that are far away from the centers of the real violence, they might not understand the agony of the people there, although I would imagine that most people can sort of identify, but it's not quite like being in the middle of it. Now, you've just said something that the military authorities, the military is not, apparently is not doing what it is supposed to do. Now, we know that what the military people do is they await orders and they will execute orders. And I don't think anybody is able to say that Nigerian soldiers are not capable. So it will come back to this whole question of political will, the will to do the right thing. It has been said that if the army were given marching orders, they know what to do. What is your thought about that notion?
You see, I said it myself, because if the Nigerian army could fight the civil war at the time in the late 60s, and in an area, in a terrain that is very difficult, you understand, to penetrate, and with very low modern weapons at that time, I believe Nigerian army is equally capable of fighting this within a short period of time. What do you like you rightly said, one, it is the political will. I believe what people are being told publicly by the political leaders is, I believe, different from what they are telling the security agencies to do. Otherwise, I can't understand. Earlier, we are told that there were no aircraft with night capability. Later, we are told these things were purchased. We are told that these people are not terrorists, so they should not be treated like they treating Boko Haram and other people. Later, they are declared terrorists. So what is the problem again? Like we said, that I understood it from two angles. One, the political leaders here, the governors, who generally should assist in providing logistics to the security agencies, and also taking some political decisions together, like if they decide to ban the use of motorcycle, sales of petrol, closure of market, and so on. This is where the governors come. But the real action, the real war, the real military or whatever security is done. So it's supposed to be done by the military. But it's like I said several times, this must be done simultaneously and should be done by all the state concerned and should be well coordinated, both ground and air. Otherwise, the way we are doing it now, Kaduna is fighting on its side. Zamfara, when you push them from Kaduna, they go to Zamfara. When you push them from Zamfara, they go to Kebbi, they go to Sokoto, they go to Kaduna. So this cannot work. And we have Niger Republic here. They are supportive. We had series of meetings with them. Our governor, then the former governor, had a reason to chair meeting with the Nigerian, especially Marathi governor and so on. They were willing to support the government. But like you said, I think the real marching order was never given to these people by the former leadership of the country. Indeed. So I think now, and moreover, one factor that we also noticed, there was serious misunderstanding then between the army and the air force. At several times here, I had to go in between them to settle certain squabble among them, because I understand they had political problem at the top, so it get down to sit.
Okay.
But now, I think the president, I understand he had talked to them, he do them, will support them, he also enjoy them to work as one. So I think it is high time the present government give the marching order and provide them with the necessary things they require, with the support of the governors and the locals who are ready to provide the necessary intelligence, the necessary information. I believe this will not take us more than 3 months.
Okay. One second, please. Our first caller has come in. Good morning, Mr. George in Ikeja.
Good morning, Uncle Yori.
Good morning.
And good morning to your guest.
Yes.
Uncle Yori, I completely disagree with the idea that collateral damage is the reason why terrorists cannot be tackled. But the terrorists themselves are causing collateral damage to the society. I think it is rather the absence of political will, not because of collateral damage. How do you allow bandits to get to the extent of acquiring drones, Uncle Yori, drones that they can even use to bomb people? And you say you are picking such people because of collateral damage? It's unthinkable. Katsina, the gentleman that you are talking to is well placed to tell us about the experience in Katsina. They tried to negotiate with them. We also saw that it didn't work. Zamfara called their leaders from the bush and gave them chieftaincy titles. That did not stop anything in terms of the crimes they were committing. So how do you